Once upon a time, deep in the heart of a lush, green forest, lived a clever raccoon and a lively squirrel. The forest was home to many creatures, but none were as resourceful as these two. The raccoon, with its nimble paws and curious eyes, loved to explore every nook and cranny of the forest at night, while the squirrel, quick and agile, spent its days scurrying up trees, collecting acorns and nuts for the winter. One chilly autumn, the forest was buzzing with activity. The leaves were turning orange and gold, signaling the arrival of winter, and every animal was busy gathering food to last through the cold months. The squirrel, always a diligent worker, had been collecting acorns and stashing them away in hidden spots all through the summer. The raccoon, on the other hand, had been exploring the streams, searching for fish and berries, but hadn't thought much about storing food. One evening, as the days grew shorter and the air colder, the raccoon realized that winter was fast approaching, and it didn't have enough food saved. Worried, it set out under the moonlit sky to gather what it could. But most of the berries had shriveled, and the fish had swum deeper into the cold rivers. The raccoon's heart sank as it realized how little food it had for the long, harsh winter. As the raccoon wandered through the trees, it came across the squirrel, who was busy burying another acorn in the ground. The raccoon watched for a moment and then called out, "Hey, squirrel! You've gathered so much food. You must be all set for winter." The squirrel, proud of its hard work, nodded. "Yes. I've been collecting since spring. I have more than enough to last through the winter." The raccoon's eyes gleamed as it thought of an idea. "Do you think, maybe you could share some of your food with me? I wasn't as prepared as you, and now I don't have much to get me through the cold months." The squirrel paused. It had worked hard to gather all those acorns and nuts, and sharing meant it would have less for itself. But then it remembered how many times the raccoon had helped it in the past, finding lost nuts, keeping it safe from predators, and even sharing delicious berries when they were in season. "Of course, Raccoon," the squirrel said with a warm smile. "I've collected plenty. We can share, and both make it through winter together." The raccoon's eyes lit up with gratitude. "Thank you, squirrel. You're a great friend." As the days passed, the raccoon and squirrel would meet under the big oak tree to share meals. The raccoon would tell stories of its nighttime adventures, and the squirrel would chatter excitedly about its discoveries in the treetops. They laughed and enjoyed each other's company, realizing that sharing made the cold winter feel warmer. One day, the squirrel noticed that the raccoon had started collecting small sticks and leaves. "What are you doing, Raccoon?" asked the squirrel, curious. The raccoon grinned. "I may not have been great at storing food, but I'm good at building things. I'm making us a cozy shelter to keep us warm through the winter." The squirrel's eyes sparkled. "That's such a great idea. I can help by bringing soft leaves and moss from the trees." Together, they built a snug little shelter at the base of the oak tree. The raccoon gathered sturdy branches, while the squirrel lined the inside with the softest materials it could find. By the time the first snowflakes began to fall, they had a warm, safe place to sleep, and plenty of food to share. Through the winter, the raccoon and squirrel learned that when you share with others, not only do you help them, but you also create something much more valuable: friendship, warmth, and joy. As the snow blanketed the forest and the winds howled through the trees, the two friends stayed warm in their shelter, sharing stories, food, and laughter. They realized that sharing wasn't just about giving things away, it was about making life better for everyone. And so, the raccoon and squirrel spent the winter in peace, knowing that by sharing, they had not only survived the cold but had also made their friendship stronger. The lesson of their story is simple: when you share, you gain more than you give. The end.